So after workflow templates, you have your data sources. And if I click on that, then it'll show you all of the different data sources, i.e. Earth Ranger databases that you have pointed Easter Island to. Now, in many instances, each individual user will only have access to a single database because that'll be your organization's database. But if you're a consultant, deployment partner, then you are a system or interacting with multiple organizations who use Earth Ranger, then you can obviously connect them to multiple sources at a time, right? So in this instance, for the purpose of this example, I've only connected to one to kind of narrow into that example where each individual Earth Ranger user only has access to an individual Earth Ranger site. Cool. So once you have your data source, the first thing then that you would do is click on Connect Data Source on the Data Sources page. And it's just easy, very simplistic, straightforward, no issues about it. All you got to give it a name. So for instance, if it was a site like, let's say it's SINAC, for example, right? One of the SINAC sites in Latin America, it says SINAC, Earth Ranger URL. I'd put in the URL, right? And then I'd use my Earth Ranger username and password. So basically, I'm authenticating this connection with my username and password. And based on the permissions that my user has, I'll only have access to that data as from the database of our Earth Ranger site, right? So I have Earth Ranger username, password, login, and not login, but then say connect. Once that is connected, your data sources will be listed here under the data sources list or table, right? And that's it. So that's all you need to do as far as the data source is concerned. The name, URL, username, and password, connect, and then it'll be listed here. It's as easy as that, pointing Ecoscope to a related database, right? Or a related Earth Ranger site. And then what you could do as well, from here, what you then do is we move now from the right to the left to say what data do we want to fetch or analyze from this data source, this Earth Ranger site, right? So then I go back to my templates and I choose whichever template that I want to interact with in that specific instance, right? So I'm not going to go through these because I've already created examples of all three of them. So we're going to look at them a little bit more closer and what elements are available to you or parameters are available to you to configure, right? So you have your workflows or my workflows. Once you come in here, so based on whichever workflow I would have chosen, I would then define the parameters and then I would click on run. Once it runs, it'll tell me the following, right? It gives me the name that I would have defined, the template that I used. So now you see, go back to those three templates and we have examples of all three. The status of the workflow run, is it successful? Is it pending or did it fail to run, right? And then it gives me the last run time of each individual workflow and how long it took for that specific workflow to run. Now, do note that there are instances where if you're dealing with a lot of data, right now I was running very short, very small data points just for the purpose of the demonstration. But if you're dealing with a substantial amount of data, it might take a while, right? So your duration won't always be a minute, 2 or 3 minutes. It'll be based on the amount of data you have or you're analyzing from your Earth Ranger site or database, then it'll basically compute all of that according to the volume of data that you're trying to get access to. What I want to do is then let's look at the different parameters within each individual workflow and then the results of each, right? And I should say that because we don't have access to like live data within any Earth Ranger site, we use demonstration data. Some of these are a little bit on the thinner side as far as examples are concerned.